for question 5 here, what we have is the height of a given population are normally distributed. So they fall within the height of 147.9 to 178.8. So use the empirical rule to find the mean. So what we're going to do then is find the range between 100. So, sorry, you're asked to find the mean and the standard deviation. Okay, so the mean is going to fall halfway between these two values. So best thing to do is just to add these two together and divide it by 2, and that will be your mean because it's halfway between the two, and that's 163.3. Sorry, so that should be 163.3. So that's your mean. So the next thing you need to do then is find your standard deviation. So your standard deviation here, so you need to find the difference between 178.7 So then if you find the difference between the 147.9 and the 163.3, that will tell you what the standard deviation is. You can do 178 minus the 163.3 and you'll get the same answer. And that gives us 15.4. Now, you have to try and figure out now if, sorry, 15.4. You have to figure out, because it's a 95% population, you have to remember the different percentages: 68%, 95%, and then 99.7%. So remember that the 99.7 is 3 standard deviations away, the 95% is 2 standard deviations away, and the 68% is 1 standard deviation away. So the fact that it's 95% means that it's 2 away, so that means that's 2 standard deviations. So if you divide it by 2, you get 7.7, and that's your standard deviation. So for the next part then, you need to plot the remaining points onto the diagram. So you have the height is on the X and the arm span is on the Y. So you go to 168 and you plot 169. You can do them as dots or X's, it doesn't really matter. 147, 150. Then you do 134, 121. And then you do 177, 176. And then 172, 170, 160, 163, and 152, 151, and 153, 151. Okay, so all those points there are plotted and it gives you 10 marks. So based on the graph that you've just drawn, you have to decide which correlation coefficient does it go with. So this is a positive one, this is a positive one, and this is a negative one. This is quite a strong one, and this is a really weak one, if any at all. So here you would go with 0.9 because most of the dots are close together. So explain what this correlation coefficient tells us about the relationship between height and arm span. So as the height of the person increases, so does their arm span, which makes sense. So 5 marks for the table and then 5 marks for the explanation.